The Indiana Fever hit DeWanna Bonner like a ton of bricks. Just disappeared without any prior notice or farewell. And the timing is really dubious. Caitlin Clark returns. Sophie Cunningham is back. Bonner is abruptly out. She didn't simply walk away, come on. She resigned. And now, as if nothing had ever happened for free, she is about to glide into the Phoenix Mercury. No team was interested in trading for her. It's not unlucky. That's what the entire league is saying. No, we're fine.
News broke today that the Indiana Fever had indeed waived DeWanna Bonner. And here is DB's statement. She said, "I want to sincerely thank the Indiana Fever for the opportunity to be part of the Fever franchise. Despite our shared goals and excitement heading into the season, I felt the fit did not work out, and I appreciate the organization's willingness to grant my request to move on, particularly at this point in my career. I wish the Fever great success as they continue to build around this dynamic group of young."
She bounced even though Indiana offered her everything. Her coach and her system. Was this always her plan? Was the Fever merely a stopover before she returned to Phoenix? Let's discuss how she embarrassed the entire league and made the Fever appear foolish.
But I knew something was going to happen, and the reason is because the longer she sits out for personal reasons, the longer she eats into the cap space for the Indiana Fever to figure out what their next move is. I mean, they could have looked for a trade for her. They might have been doing that to no avail, but their decision was to just wipe their hands of the situation, let it...
So, let me clarify this. DeWanna Bonner simply took a dip. No final game moment, no press announcement. She's involved in this Indiana reconstruction 1 minute, then she's gone. As in what? Like an Uber ride she never intended to complete. She simply disappeared due to the Fever. Furthermore, this was no ordinary bench player. They formed the team around this 14-year veteran, who was a multiple-time All-Star. It's crazy because of the time. Caitlin Clark returns in good health. Sophie Cunningham is back on the scene. Then Bonner abruptly leaves and doesn't show up. It's more than just lousy fit talk. That sounds like a pre-arranged exit strategy. Really, was this all simply DeWanna's way of stalling till Phoenix had a seat available because of the Fever? Let's not act as though this was a casual sign. Indiana gave Bonner their whole attention. Hired Stephanie White and her former coach. Keith Porter was personally chosen to join the staff. Despite the fact that it wasn't working with this roster, she was given the identical motion offense that she had used in Connecticut. That they were prepared to go to great lengths to ensure her happiness. They adjusted the offense to play to her comfort level and strengths. In Boston, they put her next to Clark as the veteran centerpiece. Still, she went. No harm, no controversy, no significant consequences. All she said was, "I'm out. If something isn't right, you don't do it." She knew Phoenix would be waiting for her, or she simply didn't want to be there. Is that a self-serving action, or is it merely business? Okay, so things get much messier from here. DeWanna hit the waiver wire after leaving Indiana. At the very least, someone will usually submit a claim if a veteran like that becomes available. Dead quiet from DeWanna, though. No team took advantage of the opportunity. Not the team she wanted to attend. Phoenix, Liberty, or even the Dream. Do you understand what that means? No one was interested in trading for her. It's due to reputation rather than skill. How are you meant to enter a locker room and take charge again if you leave a young, struggling squad in the middle of the season? Would you want a veteran on your team who has demonstrated that she can bounce back from adversity? Guess who subtly rose to prominence while Bonner was avoiding attention? Ari McDonald. She was barely expected to play when she arrived on a hardship deal, but she outperformed half of the rotation with 11 points per game. In just 3 games, established leadership, hustle, and defense. She provided much-needed fire for this team. Furthermore, while Bonner was still on the roster, Ari could not be resigned. That place was already occupied. After the second Bonner vanished, Ari returned. Isn't that almost poetic? The grinder, who was clawing her way in, replaces the vet who was unwilling to fight. In a playoff race, which one would you choose to be in your foxhole? Conspiracy theories begin to write themselves at this point. What if Phoenix knew Bonner would arrive for free and decided not to trade for her? Consider it. The cap space was theirs. They could have made a deal with a bench piece or traded Sammy Whitem, but they chose not to. They bided their time. Bonner signs for the vet minimum, clears waivers, and becomes a free agent. For nothing, The Mercury now have a potential Hall of Famer. Simply entered through the front entrance, her things packed. That's chess, not chance. Was this a dirty backdoor transaction or a clever front office move? Okay, let's take a moment to discuss DeWanna Bonner's thank you note. For what reason, girl? Her statement, "I want to thank the Indiana Fever for the opportunity," really got to us. As if she had just finished a delicious brunch and excused herself with grace. She wasn't like a Tinder date who abruptly abandoned a young team in the middle of the season. Now hurry up. We all witnessed the event. Unexpectedly, you dipped, leaving a rookie team in disarray. You want to pretend now that it was just a lousy fit. Really? Let's be honest. It fit perfectly. It was a poor decision. She received the coach, the system, and the ball from Indiana. She provided them a disappearance act in 14 games. Then, as if nothing had happened, she walks over to Phoenix. In order to reunite with her ex, Sis treated Indiana like a stopover on a road trip. For example, should we have clapped for that? Tell the truth. Before launching into a better position, did DeWanna Bonner just pull the WNBA equivalent of "I need space"? Because if that isn't the season's greatest elegance, I'm not sure what is. Stephanie White is expected to be a leader, a respected coach, and the adult in the room. She advocated for Bonner and presented the motion offense as a whole. Allow her to develop around the veteran by using younger talent's minutes. The bag is now in the hands of Stephanie and Dana Bales. And you know what? This season, this isn't even the first time a season move has backfired on her. Her play calling, chemistry building, and rotations are already being questioned by fans. You can't keep claiming that we're rebuilding while tying your entire strategy around a veteran who abruptly leaves. Is it time for the Fever to think about letting Coach White go? Let's face it, Caitlin Clark is not in a very good place at the moment. She entered the league as the WNBA spokesperson. However, the veterinarian who was meant to help guide her has instead pushed her around, singled her out, and now abandoned her. DeWanna Bonner was meant to be her guide, her rock, and the person who maintains order in the locker room. Rather, she disappeared. Clark is also left to deal with the consequences. It appears as though the team is erecting a house around her, with the roof collapsing simultaneously. When will Clark receive the actual assistance she requires? Let us now take a step back. The tension here is greater. In every game, there is something you sense beneath the surface. Veterans, devoted fans, and a robust LGBTQ community have all contributed to the WNBA's unique identity, which has sustained it throughout the years. However, Caitlin Clark introduces a fresh perspective to the general public. Enthusiasm from college fans and those who had never attended a WNBA game. That is a lifeline to some, a threat to others. Additionally, players like DeWanna Bonner may view it as a cultural change for which they are unprepared. Does the WNBA have the capacity to manage this new fan base without collapsing internally? Here we are then. Bonner is not with Indiana. It's going to be difficult for Clark. Additionally, the team still appears to be far from a contender. What comes next, then? They now have some cap room. They might expand internationally. Perhaps they sign a sleeper from the list of free agents. Or perhaps they simply wait for the off-season and ride this out. One thing is certain, though, regardless of what they do. We cannot waste this season. One of the stars of our generation is Caitlin Clark. Opportunities like this don't come around very often. Now is the time for Indiana to begin laying the proper foundation. To replace Bonner, who should the Fever target? Let's conclude. DeWanna Bonner's wish to leave was granted. She is most likely beaming from ear to ear now that she is with the Mercury. This is what she left behind, though. A squad that relied on her leadership, a disgruntled fan base, and a shattered locker room. She achieved her goal, but did she cause harm in the process? Not to mention that she is joining a Mercury squad that has high expectations. This whole situation might quickly backfire if she fails to bring her aim. What do you think, then? Did DeWanna Bonner simply demonstrate that she is no longer suited for a leadership role, or did she attempt a power move? You're a real one if you're still here. Press the like button. If you want authentic WNBA conversation, subscribe.